Usually our late tillers are very low yielding, and I would suggest that as soon as the majority of your stems have lost the green color from the base of the stem, you might have to pull back a leaf and look at that. But once you've lost the green color from this stem at the base of the head, then you can go in there and desiccate or swath. Now if you're into a direct combining situation, and this is plants that were planted a week earlier than the last, we still have a bit of green tillers here, but direct combining, we want 16% moisture or less in the head. So if we take those kernels off, there should be no way that we can break them with our fingernail. They're at a very hard stage.
Keep in mind that different problems may occur in different parts of the field. Some problems occur on the tops of hills, others only in low spots. The problem may be localized to one area, or it may cover the entire field. Do a close inspection of the plants in the affected area. Pull out a few of the sicker looking ones. If there are healthier looking plants in with the sick ones, look at them too and note the difference. If all the plants look sick in one area, move to the closest area in the field that has healthy looking plants and use them for your comparison. Examine the leaves and roots. Look for color differences, height differences, number of tillers, size and fullness of the heads, or the wilting of leaves. Look for yellowing or reddening of the leaves and overall poor growth. Examine the roots for signs of poor root development. Take a trowel or shovel and dig out some soil. Examine the soil both at and beneath the surface. Look for moisture content, crusting or hard pans. You should make a sketch of the affected area so you can locate it later. Tie it to landmarks such as buildings, roads, or power poles, things that don't change with the seasons. A problem area that is easy to spot in a growing crop may be harder to find after the crop is off. Make careful notes on where symptoms occur on the plant. For example, nitrogen deficiency shows up on older leaves first, while sulfur deficiency shows up on new leaves. Conditions can sometimes change rapidly, so photographs of both the plants and the affected area can provide a visual record of the problem. Sometimes you'll come across a symptom you can't diagnose. In cases like this, use the services of a soil or plant lab. When you send in a sample, you should also include all the data you've gathered on the problem. The specialists at the lab are trained and equipped to diagnose almost any problem. But they need all the clues they can get, just like you do. They get those clues from the samples and the information you send them. So it's vital to their job that you send in good plant and soil samples and reliable documentation. First, you need to send in 2 or 3 whole plants, including the roots, that show the symptoms. The lab technician will visually inspect these samples. Second, take representative samples of 10 to 15 plants from the affected area and a separate sample from the healthy area. If you suspect a soil-related problem like nutrient deficiency or herbicide residue, or if you don't know what's causing the problem, you should also collect soil samples for analysis. Make a composite sample by taking 10 to 15 cores from the sick area. Take a separate sample from the healthy area. For seedlings, you can take the whole plant as the sample, but 10 to 15 plants can be a bit difficult to handle if it's a bulky plant like mature canola. Rather than taking the whole plant, take fully mature leaves for most field crops or the top 6 inches for legumes. Samples should be taken to the lab immediately. However, you can keep them refrigerated or air dry them if you can't get them to the lab the day they are taken. The lab results are only as good as the samples. Quite often, the cause of a soil or crop production problem began before the crop was seeded, perhaps even several years before. Accurate records of herbicide and fertilizer applications, soil test results, types of crops grown, and previous problems will combine to paint a picture of past management practices and conditions that may be affecting this year's crop. There are also several other external factors to consider, such as neighboring fields, weather patterns, time of year, and the crop type affected. After all this information has been gathered, you are now ready to determine what is causing your soil and crop problems. Double-check critical symptoms that would confirm or eliminate a possibility. Once you've determined, with reasonable assurance, the cause of the problem, you must now decide what to do about it. If you have gone through all the diagnostic steps, you should have a pretty good idea as to the extent of the problem and the potential damage. There is sometimes a tendency to look for a quick fix solution to a long-term problem, or to attack the symptoms rather than the cause. Be sure that anything you do to solve a crop problem will give you the desired results and is cost-effective. The solution could be as simple as modifying your rotation schedule or as drastic as deep ripping the field. It may be a quick solution, such as spraying with pesticides, or may be more long-term, such as replacing soil nutrients. Your diagnosis may show that nothing can be done, like an insect infestation that has already done all the damage it can do. It may seem simplistic, but it bears mentioning that if nothing can be done about a problem, then don't do anything. Even if treatment is possible, it still may not be the best solution. Determine the cost of the treatment and compare it to the loss caused by the problem. It may be more economical to let the problem run its course. On the other hand, it may be wise to treat the problem even if it's late in the season, because the problem may carry over and affect next year's crop. Knowing the characteristics of the problem, determining the potential loss in yield and quality, and determining the cost of treatment are all essential factors in deciding your course of action. The goal of diagnosing crop and soil problems is to promote and maintain a healthy, productive crop, to understand why a crop did not produce up to expectations, and to provide you with feedback so you can fine-tune your management skills. Your investment of vigilance in field scouting, record keeping, and diagnostic reasoning will reward your crop with a clean bill of health, which will reward you with a yield that will meet your expectations. It will also give you the satisfaction of being a better manager.